Hello, my name is Randy Rathert. I'm the designer of the King's Abbey, the board game. And I wanted to, first of all, tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm doing this Kickstarter campaign. First of all, I have been married for over 25 years. I have 2 children. I've been a full-time pastor for more than 13 years. I absolutely love it. On my off time, I play games as much as I can. I have been playing and collecting games since 2004. And in 2004, I cut my teeth on Settlers of Catan. And since then, I have been absolutely hooked to board games. I mean, even from a very young, at a very young age, I just love to play board games. And so since 2004, I've collected and played over 300 games. And I was talking with my wife one day of why I have such a massive collection. Some of you out there understand that you may have a lot of board games in your collection that never get table time, but they're games that you would never give up or you would never sell. You kind of get attached to these things. And so to justify this hobby, you think of things like, well, maybe I should start reviewing games. And I thought to myself, no, I really don't have a lot of time for reviewing games. I know, I'll design a board game. I've always had a lot of ideas about board game design. And so I thought, yeah, I could do that. I have much more time for that. Yeah, right. I realize that designing a board game, for some of you out there that have designed a board game, you know how much time this takes out of your life to do. But, you know, since I've been designing this game and play testing and just putting all the hours into this thing, I've absolutely loved it. It's been a great journey. And I believe I've come up with a game design that is original, and it's one that's not out there. You know, when I woke up one day actually, and I had this idea of an Abbey worker placement resource management game. I got to looking out there, and there's not a lot of games that are about abbeys. I mean, there's a few games that have the abbey concept to them, and there's a lot of resource management worker placement games like Agricola and Stone Age and others. And I really like these kind of games. I like the mechanics of those games. And so I thought, well, there's not really any games out there that allow you to build your own abbey. And so I began thinking about this concept and come up with a great idea. I think that it has been just an amazing time designing it. I've had an amazing time playing it and still love to play it. And in this game, you'll find that, well, each player has their own player board. But the first thing that you'll see when you open up this game is the beautiful artwork. Anna Telenova did an amazing job on the art. It's all original art, and I think she did a great job putting all of the colors and all of the art together. Everything works together, from the player boards to the cards to the main board. And you'll notice on the player board you have places to build buildings and build towers and bring in peasants and train your clergy, all the things that you would do in a 10th century abbey. And what you'll find too is there are buildings that you would find in a 10th century abbey, like a brewery or a bakery, a library. There's cloisters, there's battlements, there's even a bell tower that you can build. And so the main mechanic of this game are dice. You get these dice and you roll them, and they represent monks. And I know for some of you out there you're thinking, oh, dice, I'm not really a big fan of dice. And I understand that. I'm not a big fan of dice games that only involve luck. I love dice, but I also want the dice. I want to have good choices. I want to be able to make choices with my dice. I want to be able to have strategy with those. And in this game, there's all of that. There's different ways to manipulate your dice, lots of different ways to use them, and you'll find that this game plays different every time you play it. And that's the exciting part about this. I have not played a game that played the same. Every time I play it, I have to come up with a different strategy to play because it all depends on what buildings that you purchase, the path that others are taking, and so what cards come up in the event deck, because in the event deck there's an event that happens every round. It could be a disaster, it could be a year of plenty, something good, or it could be a Viking attack. And the Viking attacks are a great thing that I added to the game because it brings all the players together. A lot of worker placement, resource management games, it seems like you're all kind of camping out at your own board, and there's not a lot of interaction. And so the Viking deck really, or the Vikings really bring the players together. They got to fight the Vikings together, and yeah, there's different ways that you can mess with the other players during this time. And so there are different times in the game that bring the players together. For instance, on Crusades. When your monks go on crusades, you can ask other players to send other monks over to help you with your crusade. And so there's a lot of different interaction with the game, as well as getting your own game engine, so to speak, running and gaining that prestige. And basically, at the end of the game, whoever has the most prestige wins. And so there's a lot more on this Kickstarter site. On my website, and that's thekingsabbey.com. You can find videos on how to play the game. You can also download the rules there and take a look at it. This is my first game, and I realize sometimes when you're looking at a game and a designer that is not involved with a publisher, so to speak, and there's no big game company backing them, it might make you a little leery. But I guarantee you, I am covering all the steps. I've got a great publisher that I'm currently working with right now, and that you're going to find the components of this game are going to be top-notch, high quality, everything all around. And I appreciate the Game Crafter. That's where I was able to make a lot of my prototypes for this game. But the end result is I'm taking it to another level. And you're going to find some stretch goals, and I hope that we can reach some of these stretch goals, because I'm excited to put things like cool looking dice in this game, a cool looking star player token, meeples for peasants, and things like that just kind of bring the game out a little bit more. So anyway, this is who I am. This is the game I'm designing. I appreciate any pledge that you could pledge towards this campaign, whether it's $1, $5, or even $40, because when you do pledge the $40, I will ship you a game for free anywhere in the United States. And so again, thank you so much for your support, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.